fall in love with the city. I've been waiting for the call. Get the bag and show them all. Fall in love with the city. She gon' love me when I fall. Spend my money at the mall. Fall in love with the city. Want to run but never crawl. Way we fly and never fall. Fall in love with the city. Got my back against the wall. Stack my money till I'm tall. Fall in love with the city. I've been waiting for that call. Get the bag and show them all. Fall in love. Keep on falling, 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 fall in love. Keep on falling, 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 fall in love. I keep on falling, baby. I hope you find me, baby. Fall in love. I keep on falling, baby. I hope you find me, baby. Fall in Let me plug you with the people I know. So call like you're hooking a deal. Put a little one at the I know. You can have the life you love. All you gotta do is make me home. Cause there's your kingdom come. You don't mind cause you had your phone. Son to pala go son. Do the yame only opens on the weekend. Happy grinding and pehota and the city. Clever bona go hage malengle. The hare bele bloma la mahike. The man I was, please remind me. The simple thing goes na mane. Wanna know about the banaka mahade. Krishna she making moves without me. Ella wanna na. The ratula me like I'm uptown. Ella wanna na. Go on Charlie when you touch down. Ella wanna na. Let me show you how we live now. Ella wanna na. Ella wanna na. Ella wanna na. The ratula me like I'm uptown. Ella wanna na. Go on Charlie when you touch down. Ella wanna na. Let me show you how we live now. Ella wanna na. Ella wanna na. Wanna do all the facts of it. We battle on a groove or belly. Clam on a cow swanka belly. Lebasali babaratang tele. Jasor halale. Mudimur halale. Ratagiri khamse sele. Batala otlawan dede. Jasor halale. Jasor halale. Mudimur halale. Mudimur halale. Ratagiri khamse sele. Ratagiri khamse sele. Batala otlawan dede. Otlawan dede. Ella wanna na. Ratala me like I'm uptown. Ella wanna na. Go on Charlie when you touch down. Ella wanna na. Let me show you how we live now. Ella wanna na. Ella wanna na. Ella wanna na. Ratala me like I'm uptown. Ella wanna na. Go on Charlie when you touch down. so good. Oh my God, it feels so good. Feels so good. Oh my God, it feels so good. Feels so good when you treat me like no other. No other. Feels so good when you call me your lover. Your lover.
What Save the Art means is saving humanity, because arts is humanity, you know what I mean? And that's why I wrote Save the Heart instead of art. And if you look here, it's like humans transcending into ever evolving, you know, like life will carry on regardless if there'll be human beings or no life forms, or it will carry on. That's what the Fibonacci at the end meant. My name's Moeko, live.
Oh my God, it feels so good. Feels so good. Sorry I kissed you. Maybe I missed you. Don't make it an issue. Oh, here's the tissue. I'm fairly awkward. Try moving forward. I gave you my password. Keep running backward. Falling for friends. I thought we were platonic, but now it's all ironic. Falling for friends. I like you to be honest, professional, I promise.
So this is how it is. I guess it all depends. Can we just make amends? I thought we more than friends. I kinda like you too. So now it's stopping you with all the sides of truth. Scared of losing you. Forever falling, forever falling.
Νομίζω ότι δεν θα μπορούσαμε να είχαμε ο ένας το άλλο για πάντα και νομίζω ότι οι δύο φοβάμασταν να αγαπήσουμε. Αλλά η αγάπη δεν δίνεται μόνο. Νομίζω ότι δεν μπορώ να σ' αγαπάω σαν, αλλά μπορώ να σου πω σαν φίλο. Δεν θέλω να σε χάσω. Σ' αγαπάω πάντα.
I loved you, deja vu. 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 I loved you, deja vu.
My wife, potential, miss more polite. The things that I do for the missus. Plus one girl on my guest list. Her lips, her eyes, stretch my cradle of thighs. With you I can't compromise. You see right through all my lies. My looms, her life, I pay the price. Mudimu made you just to test us. Her body so yes. Bless us, bless us. One side they got a homie making breakfast. I love this, I love this. Either you're the one or the closest.
I loved you, deja vu. 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 Point label in the meantime. Deja vu, what I feel is oh so lovely to be mine. Come
Come on, baby, let's right now. Olive juice is so bitter, but you're sweet like the nectar. Baby, make me alive, yes. Kid you not, you're such a turn on. Wrote a song about you, girl. Telling people that you're mine, yes. Mrs. Snow is none other than your finest, that's right, yes.
A little naughty, sip on Bacardi. She wanna party, and I got money. She know I spend it, make baby happy. Cause she the one, yes, the trap the player.
I love you, deja vu. 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 Yeah, slow motion. Keep your heels on. Don't touch that blindfold till I tell you to. Slow motion. I like it when you tell me how. I like it when you hold me down. Slow motion. Keep your heels on. Don't touch that blindfold till I tell you to. Slow motion. I like it when you tell me how. I like it when you hold me down. Vibing, igniting, sparking the fuel that we burning. Driving, flying, don't wanna crash when I'm landing. Driving, why you hiding? Damn it, I'm dying to dive in. Floating, ocean, swimming in slow motion. Slow motion. Keep your heels on. Touch that blindfold till I tell you to. Slow motion. Like it when you tell me how. I like it when you hold me down. Slow motion. Keep your heels on. Touch that blindfold till I tell you to. Slow motion. Like it when you tell me how. I like it when you hold me down. My, oh my, you're my medicine. Really feels amazing when you throw it around me. I can never get enough. You said from above, just hold me. Pacing, racing, kissing, you're lacing. You're my meal. I can never get enough. Love the way you fly. Slow motion. Keep your heels on. Don't touch that blindfold till I tell you to. Slow motion. I like it when you tell me how. I like it when you hold me down. Slow motion. Keep your heels on. Don't touch that blindfold till I tell you to. Slow motion. I like it when you tell me how. I like it when you hold me down. Slow it down and put more hours. Sweet nectar from your flower. Waterfall drips down like shower. You give me Austin Powers. Sensation, you temptation, activation through that friction. Picture frame, body position, cocoa butter complexion, blindfold and submission. Girl, you my obsession. Slow motion. Keep your heels on. Touch that blindfold till I tell you to. Slow motion. Like it when you tell me how. I like it when you hold me down. Slow motion. Keep your heels on. Touch that blindfold till I tell you to. Slow motion. Like it when you tell me how. I like it when you hold me down. Lately, Lately I've been chasing you till the day you're mine. Wear me in the winter time. Love me still when the sun don't shine. Lately I've been chasing you till the day you're mine. Would you wear me in the winter time? Love me still when the sun don't shine. Laissez-y laver, kissed by the sun. Laissez-y laver, house to the sun. Laissez-y laver, cold in the night. Laissez-y laver, you shine so bright. Laissez-y laver, 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 laissez-y laver.
And if I played you like a sixth string, would you like that? If your friends found out, would I get kicked back? You shine so bright like the stars at night. Let's set it loud, set it loud. Won't you come on back? I swear I'll change my act. Won't you come on back? Please don't do me like that. I'll play you like a sixth string, only if you let me. I'll play you like a sixth string, only if you let me. You shine so bright like the stars at night. Said it loud, said it loud.
Laissez-y laver, kissed by the sun. Laissez-y laver, house to the sun. Laissez-y laver, cold in the night. Laissez-y laver, you shine so bright. Laissez-y laver, 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 laissez-y laver. Laissez-y laver, laissez-y laver, laissez-y laver.
Where's the whiz?
Yo,
Oh, we're gonna go live. We're actually live, just playing your music in the background. Waiting for people to share.
where?
And then
Big
we're
love,
gonna
big
do
love.
this.
Where?
You drive such a hard bargain.
I'm making more music that side right now.
Oh, wait. You'll be making some new jams?
Yeah, I'm making some new jams. So I was literally recording until the dying minutes, like at 20 past, and I was like, okay, guys, let's go. Yeah.
Oh, wait. I was listening to Philophobia again.
Yes.
I think the first time I listened to it, I kind of like skimmed through it. But now I actually listen to it. That's actually some dope ass music. I actually played it the whole day today. It's crazy.
Oh, I really appreciate it. Like, it means a lot to me. Like, and the fact that you visited, the actual, what you call this thing, project. I have this painting right here, actually, always, just to remind me the cover.
Oh, wait. I'm glad that you brought that out. Oh, wait.
So yeah. No, I really appreciate it. Are we good? Are we starting?
Yeah, we are about to start now. I'm just gonna introduce the show, and we can get it. Thank you for everybody that's already tuned in. You already know what it is. It's the Indie State Podcast. Today I have a very, very special guest, friend of mine. homie, yeah, man, all things good. Mr. Sui. How are you
Hey,
doing, my
what's
G?
up? Dog, I'm chilling, eh? Like, happy times. Feeling blessed. Yourself?
I'm good, man. I'm super good. I'm super good. Before we even go any further, thank you again for giving your time. I hear you were recording some music, so taking out your
Yeah.
schedule. But yeah, thank you
Uh,
very much for doing this.
yeah. Yeah.
Cool, cool. So yeah, who's Sui, man? Let's just take it from there. For people who don't know who Sui is, let us know who's Sui.
Sui is some unique individual. SUI. I think at this point in time, it's an identity written by Pimela Mwipulai. That's my real name.
Oh well.
So I just for me it started as a nickname, but I guess art has allowed me to create something, and it's growing into an entire brand, and it's nice to like explore it. So it started just as a simple name, but now it's becoming you know uh, a renaissance visionary. I'd really like to take it as something big for this particular industry. So I'm Stewie. I'm a musician. Um, as you can see, the drip connects all the time. So uh, a lot of things, but not definitely. I identify first by a muso. I'm a musician by heart. So I'm Stewie and I'm a musician.
Oh well, oh well, oh well. Cool, man. As always, you do a lot of things. For people who don't know you, I mean, I can even say you're an entrepreneur, an artist, radio personality, art enthusiast. You're just a whole creative. So I'm gonna take it step by step. The first thing I wanna talk about is the fashion. I mean, I'm always fascinated about the fashion, the mpalas. You check what I mean? So
Well,
where did the love for clothes come? When did you start realizing this love for clothes? And while we still at it, I like the way you put everything together because you can pull out the streetwear, the sportswear. You can pull out the formal wear. Where did that love come from?
yo, I like to I say that I grew up like this, but I like to give tribute to my mom for this one. I think Kimo Torata as well. So just seeing her, put things together, as a boy growing up, then you're like, nah, wait, I wanna dress myself, and would obviously clash in terms of ideas. But I think that's really where it really began, essentially. Like, I need to give her credit. I'd be saying, yeah, I've been roaming the streets, Tapramo, getting the best of the best. But, someone had to, show me and say, this is how you put, combos together. So it's really her. And I just turned into like my own identity, essentially. Yeah.
Oh, what? That's dope, man. So is it
But
something that you wanna get commercially in, like maybe dressing people, designing your own clothes, or you more on the wearing the clothes and showcasing other people's clothes?
you know what? Because I also believe heavily on like collaboration. Like someone can be like, ah, really, this nigga, like but like facts, like collaboration is essentially what we need in order to like come together. And I'm not always 100% best, and definitely I work on my weaknesses as much as I do my strengths, but I believe one in collaboration. And so this is me reaching out to brands, and brands reaching out to me, and helping each other's, where it's numbers, where it's publicity. And I think that essentially is the main thing. So I recognize it from a brand perspective. It allows myself to like model people's brands and
But save the art.
but all just um I have an actual love for it, and I definitely am one day gonna roll out, an actual brand aware a line of sorts. That goes without saying. But tonight I'm repping Blank Collection.
Oh wow.
Amazing stuff. I want to be dropping some new content on Instagram soon enough.
Well, word.
Yeah.
That's dope, man. So if you had to advise somebody like me who just wakes up and put clothes up, where would I start? Where would I start? Where do you think is the first place where I can start?
You know, the is who is TP? You know, who's Chuck?
Oh word.
And you just carve out an identity. Like I like the look. I like the Chuck Taylor. What do you call it? Chuck Taylor signature,
Oh word.
and you, you just build on that, and sometimes you take extra risks. Like right now, I'm doing a lot of crazy stuff with fashion as well. That's like weird, but I understand it from a different perspective. There's also this barrier that you need to be able to break. Like, would you wear that? Would you wear kilt? Would you wear various things like would you wear bootleg? Would Chuck wear? Let's ask him that. So so with me, I think it ties in well with the music. It's funky. It's eccentric. So I believe in it, and that's pretty much the identity of the style. Like unicorn vibe, in its own way. So, but I would definitely say you can start thrift because they have some nice pieces. But also support local.
Oh word. Oh word.
Oh, yeah.
While we're on that, I'm glad that you brought out the local conversation. I'm always one who would like to to support as much as I can. So you've been I've been seeing you on your Instagram, which I'm probably gonna show on the people on the screen there. If people are looking on the screen, I stole some of your pictures that you showed them swanko. Um, you
Wait,
wear a lot of how important it is for us as creative or people in the limelight or just an ordinary person to support local brands, and not even complain about the price or complain about these things because I've seen really really good clothes lately, especially some of the clothes you were wearing. Some people that I was talking to and some people that I see on Instagram. There's really some South African local brands that are creating dope clothes. How do you get access? How do we access these people? And is it something that is growing in South Africa or is it something that right now we're still trying to find direction?
I think it's becoming a thing. It's becoming like people are owning the craft. People believe in a dream of sorts, like and I think it's very important. Um, uh, I'm glad I'm in Joburg because I'm able to wake up next to like hustlers and see someone that have less than me, but my guy have enough to push more than myself. I think I'm doing a lot, but I from time and time again I meet people that come from a less fortunate maybe standpoint, but the enthusiasm, the creativity, the tenacity that they have, it just makes me say, okay, why am I complaining? So I think it's important to like support to like uplift, but I also vouch for the industry standards. And I just think we just need to give it a chance, essentially, because what happened is we were brainwashed to believe that everything that is outside of us is quality and legit. And facts, maybe there was a time, but right now I can definitely say South Africa has really pushed the boundaries. We have access right now. We have knowledge, so we're in a time where we can have a podcast. Like imagine, like
Yeah, yeah,
two one Tsonga, one Tswana,
yeah.
having this digital. So we've come a long way, and I think in that we need to be open minded and say, okay, cool. Um, why do I look at the brand value and things, etc.? I'm gonna refer you guys to a podcast by Pat Matlangu,
Pet
Pat on
Matlangu.
Brands. Check. Yeah, it's like absolutely amazing stuff, man. Like they talk about brands. I learn a lot. just my involvement with Pat on Brands, and every week there's a guest that talks about marketing and just like that particular trade, and you learn things about we have I don't want to say we suffer from, but aspirational brands are consumed a lot here in South Africa because we wanna show off.
Mm.
So it's like one of those things. There's a scene on Django where they ask Django, "Hey, pick out what you want to wear," and he's like, "Me," and then they're like, "Yeah," and then he comes out looking dapper in the blue suit, and
Yeah.
so I feel like that's essentially uh who came as black people, as Africans. But it's like it's a crazy thing. So, and I believe right now we stand in a position where we can create, we have influence, and it's so important to support one another because we need to build the society. For once we have the actual tools, you come as a fashion designer, you come in as Chuck, a musician, the Samsung Goma, like you need to collaborate with some unique individual, and we also come together and create the society because essentially that's what's been lacking. And
Okay.
so now we have a bit, we are complaining, but it's important to support one each other. If I just say, I'm gonna buy tickets to your event, and as you guys have done with Save the Art, it grows it as an industry, and then together we can also grow.
Cool. That's dope. That's dope. I'm glad that the space is like that, and that's why I want to have conversations with you because I really like to be part of that podcast and just listening to what the guys are saying in our industry. Just like the Indie State podcast, it's all about all these industries, not only just music. We want to make sure that we independent in each and every way we can be. So how does the fashion influence the music, or vice versa? Does the music influence the fashion, or does it go hand in hand? Because when I listen to your music and I look at the way you dress, you get a feeling of what kind of person you are, what you like, and how you want to present yourself all the time. Does it is it something that you work on, make sure that your music and your fashion, or your image is a certain way?
Yeah, like no, definitely it's something that I try to put an effort, towards. Um I just think it allows me to, it's an extra extension of expression, like I can sing, I make music, what else can you do? Oh, I can dress well. If I want to dress well, let me represent myself in that. So I think I use it as another outlet, as a creative. um and I've found at least like enough momentum now, because you try and try again, something works, something doesn't work. Like, hey, if you had to see my Facebook pictures, yeah, 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 like all, and so I've been part of pop culture, but I think where I stand right now, I want to influence pop culture. So essentially, I also can't um, be a consumer forever, and I think that mentality of trying to lead, trying to break a new path, be a leader of a new school of sorts. So I think that's why I'm also actively involving it. Sometimes I want to go as far as build a song from an outfit as opposed to dressing for a song, like and just like try and think about this thing differently. Don't steal my idea, but if you're gonna do it, execute it well.
Oh, oh, cool. So let's get to the music just a little bit.
Yeah,
Now that we talked about the mpahlas, um,
well,
when I listen to your music, I get this very relaxed, very calm spirit. Like your music is all about love, it's all about joy, it's all about, even if you talking about sad things, you're bringing them in a very calm manner, which makes people listen. And it's not the typical music that we're listening to a lot that's being dropped. Not saying anything to anybody. You unique, just like your name, some unique individual. What is the influence with your music? Like how do you do you come up with such dope music, different, and still capture your own personality in the music? Because when I listen to the music and I communicate with you or talk to you, it doesn't feel like I'm talking to somebody else. It just feels like I'm talking to the same person.
Yeah, well, no, yo, I really appreciate that. Like, it means like I've grown as well as a human being because I think it started making sense when I started telling my story, and I think that's maybe something that I don't advocate enough, and I should do better as a human being. But when I created Mellow Music Makes Me Moody, like
Mm.
that was like my of sorts, and that's before like the name change, and so that was me telling my story, and I sort of kind of put myself um in a new, like, I don't know, I just yeah, essentially just threw myself on the line, I just put myself out there in the internet, and I think I was able to, like, sort of like hurdle over like a life obstacle in itself, and it started then making sense musically. I think the issue was I didn't know how to best reflect myself up until I made that particular project. So by the time Philophobia came in, it was a thing of like, what, I actually am a musician and I want to try different styles because I don't want to live up to any sophomore pressure. Hey, tell us another story. And I felt like I wasn't ready to tell a new story. So essentially, I was like, let me tell you 7 different stories with the common thread, love. So, and it was just a way to also, like, express myself as an artist in different avenues. And I guess people were open minded enough to like take it take it as it is, as opposed to say, okay, cool. I'm telling you a story about Ntwana Mafta Onozaka, Josie, and and the thing is, that's I've lived almost both lives, being the a suburban kid and being also from the hood. So seeing best of both worlds, I think, allows me to like have this slightly calm demeanor, if I may say so. And I think that's something that I just kept in the music. Even though on stage I become a bit of a rock star, I think just me as a person, I found myself, and I'm so cool with that identity. So I think it's pouring off in the music as well.
That's dope. That's dope. Um, cool, man. Just again, with the music, I look at, me. I like looking at my friends and what they're doing, the moves they're doing. I think I attended 2 or 3 of your shows, and
Yeah.
then I watch a lot of like your behind the scenes and save the art. One thing I can say is you have a very, I don't know, this fan base of yours that you have created, of loyals that are always gonna be there always, and these artsy people who really appreciate the art. They're just not there because they wanna drink. They're there because they really wanna experience your art. And I've seen when you're doing like album launches and all of those things, these people really support you. Is it something that you kind of like planned out and build, that you wanna separate yourself, or this is the route that you want to take? Because I feel like your route is really really dope, because it encompasses all the creative spheres. You have people in your group who are painters, people in the group who are fashion designers, digital artists, you check what I mean, radio presenters, all of the. Is this something that you thought about, or just being around those people, something just came out like that?
I would be a genius if I planned it. Like music is the first love, and that was the first thing I pursued. After realizing that I don't want to do IT anymore, and so I want to make music. So I pursued music, but I was always interested in, like, maybe acting or being on screen. I think that was the fixation,
Okay.
and yeah, like, so I would just try myself, with little things, just trying to like learn. I essentially Johannesburg, and I think that was the best part about it. Like, I made a choice that, hey, I want to become a musician. I want to live this life, and I'm willing to learn. So I had to start from failing from school, failing from IT, and I was like, you know what? Okay, cool. I need to prove to myself that I really want to do this thing. But instead of just saying, let me go make music and that's it, I was like, let me learn other trades, and I was just willing to prove to myself that no, I'm not a failure, and it was something small, like failing, it shouldn't be a big thing, but for me, I told myself I'm gonna take this music thing seriously. But I learned along the way, and I met a lot of people, and I was just realizing there needs to be also like a missing element of camaraderie or just understanding. And also, I think I built it from that place of of network. And if you need a fashion designer, if you want to look fresh for your album art or your music video, um, come to a place where there's like-minded individuals that can teach you something else. And I think it's just meeting so many crazy, unique individuals along the way that I was just felt like, yo, I want to touch base with you guys, more often. But maybe can we create something when we do it? So I think it really stemmed from like a deep place, and I essentially, with the first one, in comparison to my first EP launch, which was in my lounge, go flitting, to
Yeah.
the Moody EP launch with Sky Vodka. Like that is like leaps, of just starting off a couple of months ago, and I had friends, and that was my confirmation. Like, yo, kid, you got it. Where did this come from? So I put people together that I met. I'm like, I have a vision. Can you help me put it together as an EP launch? Because I'd gone to an EP launch previously that week, and it was just about music, and I was like, ah, man, can't we do something different? And it really came together quite well. And then we all tag teamed up later to create Save the Art. So it was something, I wanted to see as a vision, but I needed peers as well who are like-minded, who are also in different fields. And when everyone came together, it became an actual thing. You were at the meeting at Rosebank. When I looked at that panel, I was like, yo, there's so many different faces, race, gender, like yeah, whatever, all of these isms, like are present. And for me, I would like to see more, because I feel like even during these times, like things like Black Lives Matter, I get it. We need to advocate for being black. At 100%, I'm going to do that. But I think uh, the inner human, like, needs to respect each other, like outside of like variations and whatnot. So like I just think it's a space where we've created like-minded individuals, creatives, and these people just also happen to be the people that listen to my music. And I think that's super dope. There are new people coming in that haven't been to things like Save the Art, that haven't seen people that I collaborate and I'm working with on a regular basis. But I think as we're expanding, it's becoming something big. Definitely one day I would like it to be an exhibition festival, where we have lineups, and it's just different sections of art being produced. And then we can slap a liquor sponsor so we can all have fun.
Oh, way.
So yeah, that yeah.
Cool. Now, you've touched up on Save the Art, which was my next thing I was gonna ask you about. Again, my experience with Save the Art. First, I saw the videos. I got FOMO because I was in there. I don't know if it was
Yeah.
per invitation, but the Sound Sangoma didn't get an invitation. And then I think it's the second one. I was asked to perform, and then I came through. To be honest with
Aware.
you, man, what you guys are doing is great. What you guys are
Aware.
doing is great. Incorporating clothes. To be honest, when I was there, I felt like I was underdressed because everybody who was coming through was dripped out. From the old people, don't want to call them old people, but the elder people, there was like people who are probably on their 50s, dripped out, and young kids were probably at their 60 and dripped out, and everybody was supporting each other. And it was a place where it's not only just about the performance. Everybody who's there can kind of like socialize, get business talk. I met people who were artists who were looking for engineers. I met other engineers. I met like I said, artists who are sculptors, all of these guys, fashion designers who wear their clothes there. And I had conversations with most of these people. And one thing that came around was just you and your partner are just those people that kind of like have this thing that brings people together. Just like in the meeting you talked about in Rosebank, I was sitting there and being like, wow, this is a really, really, really solid team of creative people. Did you guys, did you,
Our,
was that like, I think you've talked about it, but I would like for you to talk about the importance of collaborating with people and meeting with people and having conversations with people.
um, first things first. Shout out to Dineo Pedro. So
Shout out.
I what's crazy is that like I said, you meet creatives, right? You meet creatives. You meet a lot of people, but um, I never realized how important, like, circles and association is. Um, you know, at least for the last couple of years, especially from a perspective. Um, so she's like super driven. Like, let me say that. Like, there's people that are driven. Like I said earlier, there's people with passion, but like her drive is crazy. And to work with someone like that, I was like, yo, this girl has drive. Let me ask her, can we pull this thing off for me on the side? Because she's coming in as a commercial producer before we started working at UJFM. So from that, from that, like, work collaboration, we built a friendship, and we went into um, this venture together. We're like, okay, cool, let's do this thing, and it was there was great compatibility in that sense. And I think from a business perspective, it complements. And then I think um thereafter we were able to, like, talk to the next person and saying, okay, cool, what do you think we need? um uh and I've been reading a lot or watching documentaries as well. So they talk about, like, creatives have this openness thing about them, and then you have people that are have a 9 to 5 mindset. They very conscientious is the word that I've learned now. And like sometimes that compatibility is very important, so and we just both happen to be creative. So now I'm working a lot more on my admin skills, and I think that's something that I had to learn, and it's nice for another creative. So you start taking yourself seriously, because I think we're all super talented, but sometimes we lack the structure, um, the drive, the planning, the business ethic behind it. And I think that's you probably start giving up and start thinking that you're not good enough, but you never actually took it as a business. And I think that's something I learned from her. So it was basically then easy to grow Save the Art, because she wanted to see it successful. She's like, no, if we're gonna do this thing, then let's do it right. And I think I just got fueled up, and I was like, all right, cool, let's take it to the top. And it just kept on, upping up our expectations. Big shout out to the Kalishnikov Gallery in Brum. They hosted us. Big shout out to Joshua. And he works at the gallery as well. So, like, and these are people that I met. I met Josh at UJ during the interview for Hustle season 2. So that these are the relationships that help you build your empire. I don't have to be like you're a sound engineer, I'm a sound engineer, but we don't have to be sound engineers together at the same time. Josh is a musician, he also works at a gallery, and he was able to give me this opportunity. So I think it's good to, like, know people. It's good to build relationships, and also have an internal team that understands the vision. And I think when that comes together, you start building. And I still have a long way to go, because I have a plan to build like a school. You know what I'm saying, as well, one day. So I want to think that far off into the future, so that everything that I do now just makes sense for tomorrow.
That's dope. That's dope. Yeah, like I always say the indie state is the independent state of everything. even education. We need to make you know make education independent to such a point where we can have formal education. But the problem with formal education sometimes is it's not made to make us bosses or people who are independent or own our own things. So we need to reinvent education and make it independent. And I'm so happy to hear you that your dream is to build a school, man. Once you got it down, just let me know, man. I'm fully in. Whatever needs to be done, I'll be there to help to make sure that we can spread this education. And
Definitely, definitely a shaman to teach the kids. Yes.
Away,
Yeah.
away. Cool, man.
What
And
you say?
I'm like I need you to talk to Dineo for me. I need to pick her mind one of these days if she's willing to do the indie state. I really want to know
Oh,
how she does things. And then radio, man. Like
yeah.
you just all of these things, the way you move, your music, your fashion, the outside, the hosting of shows, the radio. Let's talk a little bit about radio. Where did that come from?
Yeah. Aware. Now that one is a unforeseen one. I was at AC, I think second year at the time. And I'd asked a friend of mine, like, yo, man, I heard UJ had a radio station and I never actually got to see it while I was at UJ. Funny enough, that's the crazy part of the story. And he's like, yeah, no, there is actually like, a station. I was like, okay, cool. Do you think outsiders could actually audition? And
Hmm.
then we got that information. And big shout out to Kamuji. He's now at UFM in Rustenburg. And I've known this guy since I was like, we were like 6. He was my front neighbor, got my gang. And so we were living together in West Dean, and we went together to go audition for this thing. Um, and I'll be open because I think it's only fair that people know that sometimes you get rerouted, and you just need to keep moving forward, even sideways. I wanted to become a presenter, and I was the first person that morning auditioning, and I basically didn't do well. First guy, I was like, let me get it out the way. I'm excited for the opportunity. I want this thing. And then I underperformed. And I had my head down, and a homie of mine, David Acosta, he's at Power FM right now. He he was like, hey dog, you can actually try it for sports anchoring. I was like, okay, cool. That's an opportunity to still, be at the station. And I had a good sports background because I played provincial rugby. For those that don't even know, I used to play for the Leopards in Northwest, and I, I definitely watch sports. Athletic ski growing up. I did athletics as well at a provincial level, Craven Week and everything. So I was well adept when it came to sports. So I was like, I can definitely do this thing. I'm just going to be basically reading. Fell in love with it, got into the opportunity, but I was still thirsty for that, original opportunity. So I finally got that break with a little tech show that we are doing. I was given the sports show at some point. And then I think 2 years back, then we had Icon Live. That was the time where I met Dinell. So it was essentially we met and it was like, hey yo, okay, cool, idea pitch type of thing. I was like, okay, cool, I like that. We put it together, and then boom, essentially it started now making sense to the point where uh, we took the duo to Trans Africa. And with that, it came with like a whole entire fan base, a different market, because I think the dope thing about Trans Africa is that they focus on Africa,
Mm.
and that itself is so large, 54 countries. You think South Africa makes good music, right? And they do, but other African countries are not sleeping on it. And I think that's something that we need to realize how many creatives there are there. There's a magazine everyone should check out called OK Africa. Like, that is a plug right there. And we need more of that. We need to be more cohesive as a continent, and basically, become the United States of Africa. And essentially, like, I think if we can just, do that, we'll be miles ahead. So uh, that this platform that I'm at right now, it's so amazing because I'm learning so much. I asked you guys to help me translate phrases. I've asked you to translate. Um, you gave me some phrases in Chivenda, and and I'm learning a bit. Last week I asked Ronnie Deep to send me something in Tonga. Other weeks, will get someone who's Pedi, Kosa, and then I have the pleasures of having met people as well. I spoke to a friend of mine, Ola. He goes by Ian Nash, and we did a jam together. Um, Absolutely fire. It's called Bless Me, and I was able to learn that God is called uh, 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 Oloa Bless Me. I like to believe I said it right, and that's just like learning languages. And you know, the song was mixed and mastered in Lagos, and I was able to call him and say, "Hey, man, what's your home language?" And he's like, "We speak Yoruba." And I was like, "Okay, cool." He's like, "Oh, do you want pidgin or do you want Yoruba?" I was like, "Nah, I want the native tongue." So and he plugged me, and he's done the same. So I'm just like, it's given me more of a task as well. So the nice thing about radio is that it has this journalism aspect to it, and I think it fits with my personality. So it allows me to like be out there, meet people. I don't always have to approach you as a musician, and I'd like to believe it maybe makes me selfless in that sense. I can be like, okay, cool, let's make a platform for you. Let's talk about your story because I believe you're dope as well, and I think it allows me to like um, play a part in this thing, play a part in this industry. Because I learned the music industry from a radio perspective first before deciding to become a musician. So I understood the importance of media and the importance of creating a platform. So I think this is something that I'll probably carry forever. I might, leave radio, come back, come back as a station manager, program manager, whatever the case is. But I do believe in the platform. And it's evolving, it's becoming digital, and there's so many things that we can still do. But there's a conversation being had, and I really appreciate it. But more importantly, I also appreciate the indie state because podcasts are right now new radio. Obviously, radio is those top tier because it's the commercial scenery of it. But look at moves like Joe Rogan with the Joe Rogan Experience.
Yeah.
Just they come to you. Spotify will come to you. I like the fact that we're now at a time where we have secure Wi-Fi. Like for Americans, that's just whatever.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
for us, it had to be we had to conquer that. Like there's better data plans and they can become better. So I think South Africa needs to realize that YouTube is a platform, and I think we need to take advantage over that. But also realize that Africa was also on YouTube and not just here. And I think when we expand ourselves like that, we'll be able to start generating and becoming our own bosses and just keep learning and like learn about Google. Like Google is now Word. Like Word
Yeah.
document is Google. That's where we at. So like we
That's
really need to like get involved, yeah, and like learn how to code, as well apparently.
yeah, yeah. Um, the points that you're raising are really, really important, man. I always preach the same thing, and people who are listening to me are probably gonna say I say the same thing all the time. Uh, Opportunities are available for us. I think it's up to us to take those opportunities and find a way to make it work. With what we have. YouTube is it's a big space. YouTube is it's a humongous space for everybody. Everybody can have a podcast. It's just I want to have conversations with people that I know about what I know and what I don't know, so I can learn more. So I open myself at the indie state for that to happen, and for other people to learn from this too. So I hear what you're saying. It doesn't replace radio. And there's this thing that people always have of if TP or if Sanzangoma has a podcast and the next person you know has a podcast, now we're gonna end up with a lot of podcasts. It's just like radio. You listen to the one that you like. If they're talking about things that you like, that's where you go. It's like music. I mean, if you go to Apple Music, you're gonna find thousands and thousands of songs. It's not stopping people from making songs. Still gonna find the one that you like.
That's true. That's true.
Cool.
That's true. No, I really, that's hella dope. Yeah.
Yeah. So, we kind of like touched on everything. I would like to pick your brain a little bit. What do you think of the South African, first of all, the music industry, how it's going, how it's growing, and how which difficulties have you found as an indie artist? As far as I know, you all the way through indie. You saw
Yeah.
services out like music video shoots. You find independent people. How has that journey been for you, and what can you say for another artist maybe sitting at home? And again, on the radio side, do you feel like South African radio is evolving in terms of nurturing new talent? Because I've been listening to radio stations since like 2010, and I go back in like 2019, and the same guy is still doing the same show or a different show, but still at the same radio station. Are we training the next generation? Is there people that are gonna take over from the guys who are doing it now, who understand the culture for now?
Um, nah, we're not doing enough. I mean, Fresh said it the other day. Um, he said that it's crazy that me and what's his name? I forgot the OG. Apologies. It'll come back to me. It'll come back to me now. But he said the fact that they're still doing drive time shows, um, it's ridiculous. There should be a next generation. So you have someone leaving campus radio thinking that they're gonna score a commercial gig, but they can't because your DJ freshers are still occupying certain seats. And he's saying this and he's grateful, but it's like, what are we doing in order to shift or nurture the talent? But instead, what we're going to do is we're going to plug someone with numbers on social media, where it's YouTube, where it's Instagram, Twitter. And I'm not saying these platforms are bad, but it will take away from someone who's learning it for what it is. So I think just the industry in itself also kind of got lost in this numbers thing, but it feels like we're slightly kind of going back to craft for being craft. But clout is still clout. Don't get it twisted. That thing is still hot commodity. So, but I think we taking a bit of a backseat. But there's still more that can be done, because there was a time where music compilers weren't open-minded. So I would be saying an injustice to say they don't play, up and coming, and they just play commercial, because they do. But at the same time, there are gatekeepers. Sometimes there's gatekeepers not even intentionally. That's how creative it is, because we forget that there's human beings that sit at these particular points. Someone that press play, and then that generates income for you. You know what I'm saying? That's a human exercise, and that's the industry. So some people are corrupt, some people aren't corrupt. Some music gets lost in emails. And that's the truth of the matter. Big shout out to Maglera boy. Someone from Y had mentioned that they never heard Bodega, and was sent 2 years before. So music also gets lost in emails. But one thing I do realize, that if you're doing you, people will come. So just keep doing you in a radio space, and then just build your brand, because that clearly is important nowadays. Build your brand, and then radio will be a force to come find you. Like, also, don't get it twisted. I'm not just also I don't know so many fashion people. I know a few, and then I ask, give me a referral. So that's that thing, like exercising, being out there, hustling, being on the field, putting in content. Sometimes it looks like it's a waste of time, but it really plays a large role. So And I think that just automatically comes into that other question about, the route I took in the industry. I know for a fact that not signing is tough because you need the machine behind you. Um, you need the team.
Yep.
You need the business PR person. You need the photographer. Like guys, it's like as much as I hate to break your hearts, like artists are dope, but the people also behind them that make them dope. So it's not a one man thing, and I think that's something that I'm learning. Um, but to tie it in together, it takes time, because you're finding the right people, you're finding the right sound, you're making the right relationships, and you're building this independent label, and you're building yourself as an artist, and brands are learning to trust you as a sole entity, not under an umbrella company, not under a mini major, but I'm also learning to outsource, like distribution deals, publishing deals. Like your year cannot be the same going in, going out. Like tell yourself, okay, cool, what percentage are they cutting off? I think we just need to be a bit more informed. I'm now a little more open to, okay, cool, I can sign a deal, but a deal needs to look like this. That means I need to be read up. I need to understand my law. So I think I'm also happy with the sound that I'm making, and I definitely want to make better. But one thing I really do need to capitalize on more is the business aspect. But day to day, it's coming alive. I do have music coming up real soon. I was actually marking the calendar earlier on in studio, so
Oh yeah.
gotta keep at it. Yeah.
Oh, amen. Uh, like always, man. Conversations with you guys is always interesting. Um,
But
and what did you say? What would you say to like a young person in South Africa who wants to get into the creative industry? What would you say? What's one thing that you will say that the person needs to have to kind of like survive or to make it or to set foot in this industry?
yo, it's like a krag. Like it that like, oh, I know, guys. Like if you like, I know some people say that I know some people have it easy. They have they have money behind it, but like it just takes, you gotta believe in yourself. Like it needs that thing. That's because you gotta get yours. Essentially, that it becomes that type of thing. And I know it seems like a very foul sport and it can get very bad, but you need to believe in your craft. This headband that I'm wearing right now, um, uh, this girl is an amazing designer. Like I've seen her garments. I'm gonna be posting these garments soon enough on the gram, and I'm taken aback. I'm like, wow, this is top notch garments. This is like um, uh, the France Fashion or Paris Fashion Week level. So it's crazy. Like you just gotta put in that work and just keep building. You sometimes don't be too distracted about what's going on next door. You don't have to be known by everyone. You don't have to be known by all the platforms. Just make sure you have the right relationships. Just make sure that you know the right people, and at least make sure that you're making money. So because when you can ensure that you have a foundation, like you'll get your break. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people that were gonna get big breaks now with 2020, including myself. But it is what it is. It's COVID just said that, but just putting that same effort, it just it just builds into something else, and there's a snowball effect. Evidently, like people can't ignore you, and that's what I'm realizing. It's not overnight. Like I'm not sending out a pep talk and say, guys, hard work, and then you'll make it. Like it takes a lot more than just hard work. It takes believing, and just getting out there, doing what you have to do, creating for yourself, and just keep learning, keep unlearning as well, and just build the brand. and also know your worth. I think that's yeah, that's the way it should be. Like for everyone, just keep at it, and you eventually figure it out because you running your own race, you running your own path. And the minute you compare paths, that's actually what I wanted to say. The minute you compare paths, it's it's gonna mess you up. So some people have it overnight, some people don't. Some people have it long term. Someone like Sir grew up at the age of 31, if I'm not mistaken. He was a sound engineer for Tyrese. So it also helps knowing stories to say that, oh my God, I'm actually human. You know what I'm saying? Just because I took a route to the left, doesn't mean I can't come back. So I think, just keep doing you, just keep expanding, learn new things, put yourself out there. I also need to make a better effort of YouTube. So do the right thing, Some Unique Individual, check it out. That's my channel, and I'm gonna be dropping more content as well. So that's what we gotta do. Put in that work, and then we'll be good.
Oh, well. Cool, man. It was cool chatting with you. I'm gonna surprise you something that I didn't tell you that I'm gonna do. It's called 10 on 10.
Oh,
10 questions straight out of my head. You can answer them however you like, just for the people out there to get to know Sui a little bit. So, first question I ask everybody: if you were stranded in a desert, what are the 5 things you would take?
My laptop,
Of course.
headphones, a fresh outfit, bottle of gin, and I can't mention what or the other thing. I can't mention the other thing as
I,
well. Can I-
we're just gonna leave it there. Cool. Thrifting or buying from the shop?
Thrifting.
Right. Why thrifting?
Um, it's rare. I guess that's in a nutshell. It's rare. Like and it's you get someone's particular style. It's not like a commercial store. Like they do things with trends. The summer trends coming in, autumn trends. So there's almost like a sequence to this thing. Things come into fashion, they come out of fashion. But with a thrift store, it's almost like, hey, if I open up a thrift store, it's gonna look like me.
Mm.
You know?
Facts.
So yeah, that's why.
Oh, cool. Radio presenting or musician? I know it's a tough one.
Yeah. Guys, I love music. I love music.
Music. No, but well, I can't have an opinion or anything, but I would say, out of most of the people that I've listened interviews from, you're one of the smoothest interviewers that I've listened to. Because of your ability to listen to people and kind of like drive the interviews. So I will say, look into that too. Maybe having your own space.
No, for sure. It's something that I'm definitely gonna like. I would definitely like to see what Joe Rogan has. Like maybe something like that. I like how open it is. Like it's really like if you ask him like, "What's your show about?" It's like it's about everything.
Yeah.
So I just really want to have conversations with people. So I'm just thinking of like an idea how to put this thing together, and definitely I'm going to be inviting you to go through.
Oh, wow.
But I want to establish it into something because I definitely like having conversation. You say I'm a good listener. Hey, my parents say, oh, it is my mom. My mom says I talk a lot, and all my friends. I don't know. So, but I think it's I have I don't know. I just have I have a thing for conversation. You learn so much, honestly speaking. So I'm definitely gonna do more of that. But I also communicate with music as well.
Dope. Those were the 10 things, including the 5. Thank you very much again for taking your time, getting off studio to talk to me. I know there's some nice gems that are being cooked in the studio. In My Hood is still my favorite song. Ella Wanan, of course.
Yeah.
So if you can just tell the people out there what's coming up, what's we've been working on, where do you want them to go check it out, what do you want them to support, and all of those nice things.
Okay, cool. Let me start with the music, and then I'll plug the show Trans Africa. So with the music, check out my latest EP, Philophobia. That was an artwork I showed you guys earlier on. 7-track EP. Elawanana music video is out. Check that out on YouTube. It's available also on Channel O. It debuted on a couple other channels as well. So check it out. Send me a picture. Send me a shout out. We also got two singles that we dropped this year, Set Me Free, myself, Venus, and Linzo Sage. Then we got another song we just recently dropped, Doing Well as well. Catch a Vibe with Timber Lunacy. We've got KS Gone Production. We've got myself and Linzo Sage. So that's the music that's out. And I haven't mentioned this to anyone, but there's a song, How You Feel. Like, watch out for that real soon. And then we're gonna start with that content, like, because I haven't really dropped anything as a single human being. So it's been collaboration. So I'm definitely planning something. I can't say too much, but otherwise, some unique individual. Check out the music. Check out SUI underscore PTM, SUI underscore PTM.
Don't worry, I got it on the screen.
Shout out.
You know this.
So, and I think I'll be able to direct you guys accordingly as well. So, do the right thing, catch the music, catch a vibe, Set Me Freeze out, and of course, Philophobia, some unique individual. It's there. And crossover every Saturday, 5 to 8 p.m. Central African time. Check it out, DSTV 872. And of course, you can just stream it through the transafricaradio.net website. That's essentially now me playing your role and just having conversations about different creatives. And, we want to bring in painters. So if you know people that have been on the platform that want to be heard as well, please send them my way. And, I'm going to have a conversation that side. That's how I'm gonna swing it. Saturday night, we do a show, come back with music, and I like that flow. So I'm definitely trying to balance it, and it's coming along quite well.
Oh, word. That's dope. Same to you, man. I'll be interested into talking to some of the people that I met at that meeting that day. If you can make it a thing for me to link them up, send me their names. And anybody else, man, the indie state, like I said, is all about the independent state of self, being business, education, whatever we can talk about to try make it better for the next generation and our generation and change things that we can. So it's not only just the creative industry, it's I want to talk to everybody. I want to talk to guys who are making shoes. I want to talk to guys who are selling food, and understand how we can make that industry independent and support it from local. Because this local thing we've been talking about, we talk about it, but we don't know where to find these things. So I'm trying to find people who are all doing these things, who are independent, who have products out, whatever it is that they're pushing independent, so we can have a conversation and more people can learn from it, and me myself can learn from it, because I can talk about supporting South African brands, but I don't really know that many, and there are people out there. So I'm on my Instagram searching for people, even people who are listening to me right now. If you know somebody or you are that person and you feel like you can have a conversation, the indie state is all about that. Just coming here, having a conversation, finding out where we can meet, and building this independent state of mind and being one.
Aware.
Cool. With that being said, thank you very much, Mr. Sui, for joining me today at the Indie State episode 6. I'll catch you guys next week, and then I'll leave Mr. Sui with the last words.
Bro, thank you so much for the platform. I really respect the platform. I the conversation. Yourself as a musician, as an entity, you know, as a conglomerate on its own. I really appreciate the conversations because I've had to confide in you with just like ideas and be like, hey, what do you think of this? And and I really appreciate those conversations. I want the people to know. I want the people to know. And I can only imagine what's next for the indie state. Hopefully, the next time I'm on, it'll be an in-studio interview. I really appreciate that.
Yes.
Yeah. So hey, it's just we tired. We of this lockdown thing. But otherwise, everyone stay safe. Keep well. Be healthy. Don't forget to stream the music. YouTube. Just punch in some unique individual. And then on all social media platforms, just say SUI_PTM. And that's pretty much it, man. I'm gonna love and leave you guys. And I'll be cooking some good music.
Oh, well, thank you very much, my dog.
Feels so good.
Tryna be a distraction. You tryna see my reaction. That girl is half just a fraction. You can't deny the attraction. Double cut, yeah, triple cut. Yeah, blow it up in the shot. I'ma give you all that I got. How did you live up to the